and welcome to our course. Today is our third session, and also we were so long in between with no videos, but sorry, we were preparing for this one. This one actually we are going to focus on some tips that many people asked me why we cannot speak English in a fluent way, why we cannot speak English in a good and right way. I will tell you. Today we are going to take some tips, and these tips are not theoretical, they are not like ink on paper. They are some practical tips that you may add to your life, and I think you will find some more and good results that will be reflected in your language. Today I'm going first in this part to focus on some rules to speak English fluently, and then I will move on to business class, and we are going to speak about some like tricky interview questions which we needed when we go to a job interview especially. And also we are going to speak about some advanced words. There are only 5 advanced words. I think they are so helpful when we are going to speak about them. The first part today, which is about some tips to speak English fluently. The problem is that some people may ask me many times and still asking, how can I speak English fluently? I will tell you 7 rules, and I think these 7 rules, if you will choose 5 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, you will not find any problem later on in your spoken English. Today I'm going first to speak about rule number 1, which is always study and review phrases. Don't take the small words. So the first rule is just understand how you can use the vocabulary. So study the phrases and review them. Don't just take like a list of words or the most important words in English. No, just you can take some words and you try to put them in sentence. I think this is a really good one. For example, we can say the word group. The word group, it's an easy one, and maybe we all know it. How can I use it? For example, if I studied the word group, later on, how can I use it? I will tell you. You can put it in some small sentences. For example, I love to work in a group. I love to work in a group. I think this will make the word more practical, and you will practice it more and more. Let's move to rule number 2, which is don't study grammar. Really, many people just focus on focusing on grammar and using the grammatical tenses, and they do have some I saw big books about grammar. No, don't waste your time in learning and practicing grammar. So many people asked me before, how can I build up a sentence without grammar? I'll tell you, listen more and try to listen to a right English and a right pronunciation, a right pattern, a right construction of a sentence. This will make your language more clearer, and it will make it like an imitation, or for example you are copying what you are hearing, and this is really important while you are dealing with it. So speaking about rule number 2, which is don't study grammar, I mean here you must study the basics of the grammars that we can build up later on them. But if you have like a complicated one, like if situational, for example, don't bother yourself. You can just try to react with it, or you can read more about this part. So rule number 1, if we are going to review them, rule number 1 is always study and review words in sentences. And the second rule, which is don't study grammar. Now let me see rule number 3, which is listen first. Many people just rush in to speak and speak and speak, and they don't even listen to the question. No, you must first listen to what do people say, and after you listen and understand the question or understand the point of their spoken part, for example, someone is speaking about traveling, so let him finish his question or her question. Don't just rush in to just show that you are speaking well. No, just first listen to get to the main point, so your conversation will be in a clear and the right way. The 4th rule, which I really like it, is slow and deep learning. People just need English when they need it. How? I'll tell you. Many people don't even bother themselves by opening a book in an English language in their normal life. But if it comes to, for example, after 2 weeks I do have an interview or a job interview, oh my god, this interview is going to be in English, how can I prepare myself? And you rush into joining so many courses around you and listening to more English. No, it's not a learning in a spark, it's a learning in a slow motion. You can just start slowly. For example, you can start by 15 minutes every day. You can just focus on them, on learning English, and deep. For example, it's not enough to know the word and the meaning. No, you must know the word and the full definition. Or, for example, some words that we use them in different situations, and you must know how to use them. So this is rule number 4. Rule number 5, actually, and this one is really practical and showed so many goals and so many points when people did it, which was reading many and short stories. Actually, short stories are spreading all over the internet. For example, if you go to Google and you just write short stories, you will find a lot of them, and sometimes they do have categories for them. For example, people who love to read about fiction, they can see it. People who like to read about crime, they will see a lot of it, and so on. So many stories are so important while you are learning English. Why? Because it gives you a good pattern of grammatical forms. So try really from today to read even a short story once per week, and this also will help you to gain more vocabulary and gain a best pattern of pronounced English and also grammatical point. Rule number 6, which is use real books and real lessons of English. Don't use an amateur one. For example, like, don't get a video from here and a video from there. No, start to have a syllabus for yourself. You can do it by yourself. For example, studying speaking. For example, you can go online and you find some speaking activities or listening activities. So specialize yourself. Don't spread out yourself so you cannot know what I learned and what I have not. And the last one I'm going to speak about, which is listen and answer, not listen and repeat. For example, I asked you a question, don't repeat my question. When you listen to my question, take your time and you can just start to give me your answer. So these 7 rules are so important and really important. If you will just do them from today or from this video being seen by you, I think your English is going to be so helpful, and see you in the second part. Thank you.
I wish that I could have this moment for life, for life, for life. 'Cause in this moment I just feel so alive, alive, alive. I wish that I could have this moment for life, for life, for life. Moment I just feel so alive, alive, alive. This is my moment. I waited all my life. I could tell it's time, it's time, it's time. I wish that I could have this moment for life, for life, for life. 'Cause in this moment I just feel so alive, alive, for life.
Hi and welcome to the second part of this session. Now I am going to focus more on interview and job interview. Today I am going to discuss with you 3 tricky questions. Actually, they are, I call them like tricky question, because the person who is asking you this want to know some information about you, and this information are, I think they are not mentioned in your CV. The first question, which is, what is your greatest strength? What is your greatest strength? So he is asking you just what are you strong at? What are the skills that you are strong at? And I will tell you, you can just tell him like, for example, when I am working on a project, I don't just, or I don't want just to meet deadlines. I just want to did the best achievement in this project. So I stay more time, or I spend more time dealing with it. So how can I say it? We can say it in an organized way, which is, when I am working on a project, I don't want just to meet deadlines. Rather, I prefer to complete the project well ahead of schedule. I'd rather to complete the project well ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule means at the same or at the right time. So not to be fast, or just start to finish your work completely in a good time, and also the goals are so clear and your achievements, of course, are so creative. The second question, which is, what is your greatest weakness? And this is actually the opposite point. Some people may ask, like, I will tell him about, or I will tell the interviewer what I am bad in. Yes, you can tell it. But I will tell you something, which is, turn a negative into a positive thing. Just don't give me a negative point. No, turn it to be a positive. For example, you can tell me this point answering this question, which is, at the beginning, I didn't used to plan my schedule, and I just get enough to plan my schedule at the last minute. But later on, I found how important is to reschedule, or to schedule my schedule in advance, or to write my schedule in advance. So you turn it the negative into a positive part. For the first, you told me at the past you didn't write your schedule in advance, and you stayed until the last minute and you just add your schedule. Maybe you have some appointments tomorrow, so you just schedule or write your schedule 1 hour before starting the new day. And the second part, you said that now I know it's really important to write my schedule in advance. So if I will do my schedule in advance, for example 2 days earlier, I think I will have some more time to organize myself. So you turn it here, the negative, into a positive, and that's what's needed in this point. The third one, which is about how do you handle pressure? How do you handle pressure? You can just like tell me something to relieve yourself. For example, I ask you, what do you do when you have a problem in your work? You can just tell me, I try to go to gym or work out after finishing my work, so I relieve my mind, I get together with my friends, and that's it. How to handle with pressure. Of course, we do all have pressure in work, and I think doing sport is a good answer to answer them. Now you will find some words which are so related to interview. You will find it in the PDFs, which are, I'm going to pronounce them and I will tell you so fast what does they mean. The first word, which is carry out. Carry out is to do a plan or a strategy. For example, in my previous position as a researcher, I carried out 3 different lab experiments. Second word, which is collaborate. Second word, which is collaborate, which means to work with others cooperatively, and you will produce something, of course, which we can say, I collaborated with a group of colleagues to develop a new sales strategy. The third word you will find, which is develop, to create or build something. For example, I can say we developed a new model for evaluating client satisfaction. Client satisfaction. We developed a new model for evaluating client satisfaction. And the fourth word, which is direct. Direct means to lead someone to do something. For example, I can say, I directed a project related to international sales. And the fifth word, which is facilitate, which means to assist others in completing a task. For example, I can say, in my last position, I facilitated many product development meetings with my colleagues. The sixth word, which is implement, which means to carry something out. For example, I can say, along with my sales team, I implemented an inbound marketing campaign and saw excellent results. The next word, which is introduce, which means to bring an idea. For example, I can say, I consistently introduced new ideas in our meetings with president of our company. The next word, which is motivate. Motivate actually to give an encouraging thing for someone. For example, some of your friends in your work or your colleagues did something good, so you'd say, oh my god, good work, or well done. This is a good motivation for someone to have, and actually this is really important when you are working with someone. We can also say this part, which is, in my position as a manager at my last job, I was able to motivate my colleagues to set sales record in 2012. Okay, so motivate them to do something. The next word, which is present, which means to deliver information to a large group of people. Of course, of people, and we must give this information to most of them. This is called to present. I can say, I have presented at professional conferences for the past 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row means 3 years, year after year after year, for 3 years. The last one, which is supervise. Supervise is to to be in charge of a group and to supervise and to oversee their performance. For example, I can say, I am comfortable supervising large groups of people. These are so important words, and if you will study them in a good way, you will find them also on your PDF, which you will find it below this video. Also, it's been published while we are showing this video. My last point before I finish is, when you speak in English, don't say, I have no way to speak in English. No, you have all the way to speak in English, and you must do it. So when you want to speak more in English, please start to find these resources, and I will help you. You can send me something on my page and we can share it together, and also we can help you by sending you some of these links or websites or whatever that will help you to improve your English. English is so important, and if you will get English, you will be able to learn so many other languages. And of course, now English is a global language. So please start to add these tips into your life, and I hope your English will become so fluent and better on. Thank you for watching it. See you next one. Thank you.